I think the single most important achievement that I would say is to form good partnerships with the other governments. And I've been very lucky that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and formerly Premier Kathleen Wynne and now Premier Ford and his government, they've all been governments that want to do things with Toronto. And they want to build transit, they want to build housing. But before, we didn't really have the partnerships where we would talk to each other all the time, talk to the MPs like Ali Assassi, and talk to the provincial politicians and talk to the city councillors. And now we have good partnerships. I would say second is to have a transit plan. We didn't really have a transit plan when I came to office. There were big fights going on, constant debates, and now we have a transit plan. We went and got, because of those partnerships, $9 billion for that transit plan, and we're going to get the transit built because we need to have it in our city. And I would say the third thing is, again, it comes from the partnerships. We have today a national housing strategy that is going to help Toronto a lot with the challenge of having affordable rental housing for people who are struggling in the city. And so I'd say those things, and keeping taxes low, are the things that I would name as significant accomplishments, but starts with the partnerships. Everything starts with a partnership, because you can never get things done by yourself. Well, with respect to more random acts like the van attack on Yonge Street, we just have to pay closer attention. And I think you find now that we've taken some steps that are reasonable to make sure that public places are safer and things like that. But I think really, if there's any reason why people might be a little bit more worried these days, it's because of some of the gun violence that's been taking place in the city. And in that respect, we have a very complete plan to invest in the police and support them, to try and change some of the laws, because I believe we should have much stricter gun control, including a ban on handguns in Toronto. And finally, to invest in kids and families so that kids who might be tempted to get involved in violent activities are given a better way to live their lives. And they need support from us. But I really think on the more random events that have been very tragic, that we just have to be careful. People have to keep their eyes open. It's 2018, unfortunately, and the world sees more of these events than it should. And we didn't think maybe they happened in Canada, but now we know they do. And I think we just have to be careful without turning the city into some place where people don't enjoy being here. So I think there's a way to keep safe, but at the same time keep the city a very enjoyable and livable place. Because if they vote to re-elect me and I get re-elected, I'm going to implement the transit plan, implement the housing plan, keep taxes low. And I think those are really important things to people that I've started to do and will continue to do. I think secondly, they know that a really important question they should ask themselves before they vote is which person, as mayor, is going to be best able to work with Premier Doug Ford and his government and with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his government. And I think that they will see that I've proven that I can do that. And I think the third reason is because I will responsibly manage the finances of the city to make sure it stays affordable. And that means keeping taxes as low as we can, because I think a lot of people, one of the biggest checks they write, whether they're a business or a homeowner, is to the city government. And I want to make sure that we keep the tax increases low so that it can stay an affordable city. I just wish things moved a little faster in the government. I've really spent a lot of my time trying to speed things up. So we have a transit plan today, and now at every meeting I go to, I'm saying, can we do this faster? Can we do this faster? And, I wish that I had moved even faster to kind of change some of the processes that slow things down. Because I think that, people are not used to the fact that we need to move faster at a time when the city is growing so fast to make sure we have the transit, that we have the parks, that we have the recreation spaces. And so I would say that's something that I'm going to spend even more time on in the second term, which is speeding up how things get done, because we can't afford to have a fast-growing city and slow-growing recreation, slow-growing parks. We've got to do those things faster and move faster to do them, and I think we're figuring out how to do that, but we've got to do it. Thank you very much.